Hey everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's a huge deal for every developer out there, testing. But we're not just talking about writing tests. We're going to look at how you can turn testing from this thing you have to do into this powerful tool that gives you total confidence to ship amazing code. All right, so let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had. It's that awful, sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize the tests you thought were so good, well, they might have been lying to you the whole time. You know the drill, right? You've spent hours, maybe days, writing tests. The whole test suite is green. You hit that deploy button feeling like a hero, and then the bug reports start pouring in from users. It's this horrible feeling of false confidence, and it's a huge red flag that our tests just aren't telling us the truth. The magic number, 100%. We're all told to chase this, to get that code coverage metric as high as possible. But here's the thing, it can be so misleading. All it tells you is that your code was executed during the test. It says absolutely nothing about whether the code actually did what it was supposed to do. It's a vanity metric, plain and simple. So why does this happen? Well, it's because so many of our tests get completely bogged down in the nitty-gritty implementation details. We end up checking things like how a function was called or if a specific object got created in a certain way, instead of just checking the one thing that actually matters, the final result. So what's the fix? What's the secret? It's actually a really simple but incredibly powerful shift in your mindset. We have to stop testing our code and start testing our application's behavior. This slide just nails the difference. Think of it like this. Testing implementation is like being a mechanic who only checks if a car's pistons are firing correctly. But testing behavior is like being the driver who actually presses the gas pedal to see if the car moves forward. We don't really care how the engine made it happen, we just care that the car accelerated. Same thing with our code. I don't care if a mock was called, I care that a user is now actually in my database. And this quote just drives the point home, doesn't it? The only way to be 100% sure that your code works with your database is to actually test it against the real database. This is how you find all those little sneaky integration bugs that mocks, by their very nature, are designed to hide. Okay, so does this mean we just throw mocking out the window completely? Not at all. There's actually a beautiful, simple little rule to follow here. You should only mock the things that you don't own and you can't control. And this is where it gets super practical. You don't own the Stripe's API, right? You don't control SendGrid's servers. So yeah, you mock those because that keeps your tests fast, reliable, and not dependent on the internet. But you absolutely own your database. You own your business logic. Interacting with those parts of your system is the core behavior you need to verify. So don't mock them. Test them for real. Now, to make this kind of real-world testing possible, you need the right environment. And trust me, it's a lot simpler to set up than you might think. The most important word here is isolation. Your test configuration needs to point to a completely separate test database. By setting it to drop and recreate the whole schema before each test run, you guarantee that every single test starts from a perfectly clean, predictable state. No more weird test failures because of some leftover data from a previous run. Okay, we've got the philosophy, our environment is ready to go, so now let's get practical. How do we actually sit down and write one of these awesome behavior-driven tests?
It all comes down to a super simple, really memorable pattern. Arrange, act, assert. First, you arrange the world. You set up the conditions, you put the data in the test database exactly as you need it. Then you act. You perform that one single action you're trying to test. And finally, you assert. You check that the world has changed in exactly the way you expected.
Oh man, we've all written this. I've written this 1,000 times, but it tells you absolutely nothing. If this test fails 6 months from now, what broke? You have no clue. You have to read the whole test just to figure out what it was supposed to do. Now, compare that to this. It's like night and day, right? A good test name is a full sentence that describes the exact behavior. Now, if this test fails, you know immediately what the expected behavior was, and you have a really good idea of what went wrong. Your test failure literally becomes a perfect bug report. And this right here, this is where you build real, rock-solid confidence. You have to go beyond the happy path. A truly great test suite thinks like a mischievous user who's actively trying to break your app. What happens with bad input? What happens when a product is out of stock? Testing these edge cases is what separates a fragile app from a truly robust one. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this sounds great, but writing tests for all those edge cases sounds like a ton of work. And you're not wrong. But what if we could get a little help? Let's talk about how modern AI tools can seriously supercharge this whole process. Here's the most important thing to remember. AI is not here to do your job for you. It's here to get rid of the boring, repetitive, boilerplate code so you can free up your brain power to focus on the strategy of your tests. What really needs to be tested and why? And you've got some great options here. You could use a tool like GitHub Copilot to get quick inline suggestions right as you're coding. Or for a bigger task, you can literally go to ChatGPT or Claude and say, hey, write me a test suite for this controller, and it'll spit out a fantastic starting point. But, and this is a big but, you have to be smart about it. Absolutely let AI write the boilerplate. Definitely ask it, hey, what are some edge cases I'm missing for user signup? But never, ever blindly copy and paste its code. Never let it generate tests that mock your own database. And always, always manually review the assertions it writes. You are the final judge of what correct actually means. So let's bring it all home. The goal of everything we've talked about isn't to hit that 100% code coverage number. The goal is to build a genuine safety net. It's about creating a suite of tests that gives you that unshakable confidence to refactor code, to add new features, and to ship to production without crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. And that leaves us with one final thought, a little piece of homework for you. Think about the project you're working on right now. Can you think of one test, just one, that's currently checking an implementation detail with a mock that you could rewrite tomorrow to check a real, tangible behavior against a real system? Because that one little change, that's where this whole journey to true confidence begins.